podcast joint with Ciara.
Yo, what the deal? This is T-Money, and you are now watching the T-Money podcast joint featuring the illustrious Ciara Ross.
Hey.
Yo, we're in the building today with the special guest, one of the best who ever did it. Him and his brothers were so official. You know who it is. You know what time it is. Full force all day. My man Paul Anthony in the building. Give it up for him, Paul Anthony.
What's going on? What's going on, y'all?
What's up, brother? How's everything?
Man, everything is blessed, man. Every day above ground is a good day, so I'm good.
You looking real expensive right now, all this jewelry on?
No, man, it's all good. It's all good, man.
You looking all
Very
good,
blessed.
man. For us, man. How's everything? Everything good?
Yeah, man, everything is really good,
I'm so
man.
glad you're here today, man.
Yeah,
You know,
no
let's
I'm liking them glasses, by the way. I
you
just need
are?
to let you know that.
Okay, well, cool.
He's
cool.
not gonna
Get
give you.
jacked at the end of
Yeah,
the
I
not
usually
gonna
wear
give
them. I
you
hide
his
my
glasses.
tight eyes when I'm up late in the studio or whatever, you know.
Working hard.
I'll take them off later.
You know, we gotta talk about you stealing the stuff from the
Borrowing,
guests.
sir.
Oh,
Borrowing.
okay.
Borrow.
Anyway, so let's get into it today. So let's talk. Listen, legendary group, Full Force, family business, right? All three of the brothers. Peace out to the brothers too, by the way, man. Bow-legged Lou. And the whole crew.
Just to run it down, the brothers Bow-legged Lou, Be Fine.
That's right,
My
Be
cousins, Baby, Jerry, Shy, and Kurt,
No
and
doubt.
myself, Paul Anthony, Full Force.
No
all
doubt.
day.
No, that's right. The whole
And we
collective.
sending prayers to Shasha, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh
Appreciate
yeah,
that.
salute to that,
Appreciate
man.
that,
Yeah, no question. So you guys are from the borough of Brooklyn, right?
Yep.
So talk to me a little about your growing up in Brooklyn, and you know.
Man, yeah, I mean, we started we were born and raised in Brooklyn. And, well, a couple of us. I was made in St. Thomas, but I was born in Brooklyn.
Okay,
I like
okay.
how
Lou
that
was born in
created.
St. Thomas.
Okay.
You know, my father was from St. Thomas. My mother was born in Puerto Plata, Santo Domingo.
Oh, okay.
So I'm half Dominican.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And our cousins, they were most of them were Trinidad and Tobago. And for the large part, that's how we started. We started in the streets of Brooklyn, you know, really, you know. I mean, the very beginning came when I was about, I think 10 or 10 and a half. My father heard me singing in the shower, and I was singing a Smokey Robinson song, and he heard the vibrato and the melody in my voice, and he was like, you know, he's a West Indian man. He said, "Hey, honey, you know, Anthony can sing, you know." It wasn't Anthony, it was Anthony. He said, "Anthony can sing, you know." And, you know, I think shortly after that, maybe a month or two, I was down in the street of Bed-Stuy, Kingston Avenue, on top of a metal garbage can turned upside down, standing, singing, people all around. It was crazy because Brooklyn was crazy at the time, but my uncle was part of the Sonny Carson Revolutionary Movement,
Oh,
so
really?
I was
Okay.
covered, you know,
Yeah.
right there.
That's dope.
Yeah,
Street
so
cred.
that's how we started. And Lou and B was up in the window watching, and you know, I knew my father and my uncle Cito would train them and teach them how to sing. You know, so I was born with my voice, and we started as a little group. You know, that's how we started
That
originally.
had to be wild times growing up. All of them
man.
boys in that house, woo, you drove
Right,
your mama
right.
crazy.
Yeah, man, and it was rough. You know, we slept 3 to a bed. You know, back then Bed-Stuy was rough.
right,
you know,
right.
but you know, the family essence. You know, my mother and my grandmother would stay up late sewing our little uniforms by their hand, and a neighborhood friend of ours named Edward Guy joined us, and I can easily remember at 12, Lou was 13, B was 8, Edmund was 11, us walking down Kingston Avenue to Fulton Street, getting on the A train. Everybody asleep, leaning on one another.
Oh, wow.
You know, and we get up 125th Street. My dad would drop that hat, and we'd sing for hours.
And you would
hours
sing. You
in
would sing in the
subway.
street in the subway.
Oh yeah, that's how we
cool.
started for
Right.
hours. And then he look in the hat. If he did like this, he said. He turned away. That man kept on.
Keep on singing.
If he did like this and looked at us, that means we got enough. Let's count up. We said, "Okay, take care. Thank you."
Okay, no
Love
doubt.
it.
What was
No
in the
doubt.
hat would depend on if we ate or we was able to go to the Apollo.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's
see,
how we
I know a lot of artists that start out from the bottom, like you guys. You know what I mean? They start straight from the bricks. You know?
Yeah.
So I mean, at some point, singing in the subway, singing in the street, you know, you come to realize that this is what I'm destined to do.
No question.
Like, well, you know,
No question.
When was that defining moment for you guys? I mean, I know you reached the pinnacle of success at this point, but
Right.
looking back, like
Right.
you know, when did you have that realization that this was it? This was the thing that I was
Yeah.
destined to do, or we were destined to do.
Well, personally and collectively. So personally, me is when I was singing on the street, you know, and I seen all the people all around, and I was doing my thing, Smokey Robinson and everything like that. And it just came a natural progression. And then I was singing with my dad because he was part of the doo-wop groups, him, my Uncle Paul, my Uncle Cito. So this felt natural to me. And collectively, we knew it was when we won the Apollo Theater at that age, you know. We won the Apollo Theater 4 times in a row. And we appeared with a lot of groups from the old days, the originals, and a lot of, you know, but we did our thing, you know, and
yeah, that's hard right there to win the Apollo 4 straight times.
Back then,
Especially
it was hard.
back then.
You kidding me?
It wasn't playing, you know. But we rocked it doing a Temptation song called Cloud 9. And we were supposed to perform with a guy named Joe Simon, but Joe Tex was in the audience. He said, no. He said, no, I want them with me.
Wow.
So we performed with Joe Tex.
That's sick.
You know, we
right
did
there.
I Gotcha and all his hits, and we did 21 shows with Joe Tex. And right then, that was the time where we knew that this was destiny.
That was
Absolutely.
And I'm sure that them costumes that your mother and aunt was whipping up helped you win the Apollo.
Oh, absolutely. My brother Lou still have them up in his office at the house. Yep. I mean, because they're sequins and shiny and glistening, you know. And it's so funny because, you know, as we get older, we return to our childhood. Because right now, I'm still in my glistening, shiny shit.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
we see
so
you.
Right.
We
I
see
still,
you.
Yeah, no
I
question.
still wear all
I
the
see you, brother.
sequins. To this day, I wear my sequins and
Oh,
my
I see
shiny.
the diamonds on the jeans.
Yeah. you caught that?
Yeah, I did.
See, that's the good part about being a legend. You know why? Because if I wear something different, they say, "Oh, he's trying to evoke style." But a young cat said, "Well, he said, oh, he don't know no better, so I can't lose."
Listen to me,
Okay.
listen to
You
me,
know
listen to me. Listen, you,
That's
the Furious Five, Lisa, y'all made that headband joint official.
Sure.
They had the headband,
Absolutely.
the leather headband. Yo, listen, I even rocked
Absolutely.
the leather headband. I had a Jericho, I had a Jericho.
No.
But I had the
No,
leather
now look that
headband
up.
as a DJ group because, you know,
Right.
at the time, listen, before Run DMC came out,
Right.
back then,
Right.
you know, your idea to perform, you're supposed to dress and dress flamboyantly,
Right.
Right. So you would wear all kind of crazy
Right.
stuff. You know what I mean? So
Right.
the headband was the official thing to be rocking because now you're a star. You got on cowboy boots and headband.
All that.
You're good to
You
go.
killed it.
You know
You
what I mean?
killed it. Right.
So
Yeah, we'll get into
you
that.
love I can tell you love your style.
Yeah.
And what you put together. I mean,
Absolutely.
Obviously, style is a major part of what you guys did
Yeah.
back in the day because you
Sure.
created a whole vibe. You know what I
But
mean?
a lot of that
Yeah.
style, I don't know, if the world knows, but a lot of that style came from you being into fitness and bodybuilding and things of that nature.
Yeah. I'm blessed to Full Force as a whole, but mainly me, I'd say, was the one who really put fitness and training out into R&B, out in there, you know.
Right.
And then my brother, my life brother, Melly Melk, was there shortly
question,
after.
no question.
But I was known as the first one to really push it in your face because I kept in on all our videos, and then we managed all our artists as well. So I'm doing Lisa's videos. I'm putting it out there, you know.
I just want to make sure I get this list right to make sure that I got this right.
Sure.
UFO.
UTFO.
UTFO?
UFTO, apologize.
UTFO?
UFTO,
I got you.
apologize.
I got you.
Dr. Ice, Patti LaBelle, Force MDCs, Britney Spears, Cult Jam, James Brown, Lisa, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Selena, Little Kim. I'm sure I'm probably missing a few people.
Oh, you missing a whole lot. We can go with my baby Riri,
Man.
Rihanna, and Nicki Minaj, and Allure, and Faith Evans, and Method Man, and Godfather Soul James Brown, Samantha Fox. Britney Spears. I mean, there's a story with everyone, you know, and we're credited with bringing the world freestyle hip hop, freestyle dance music. Because when we introduced the world to Lisa, there was no Gloria Estefan, was no J Lo, was no Menudo, was no Ricky
Yeah.
Martin.
So talk to me about that too,
Yeah.
man. Because Lisa would listen to me. Lisa. I mean, you did all these other artists. I mean, UTFO actually did their thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they were big at the time because of the songs and everything. And you know, the bevy of artists that she just mentioned, you know, is extremely respectable. But when you came out with Lisa, right, in the Cult Jam,
Right.
that set a whole new path.
Yeah.
To something else. You know what I mean?
Sure,
So tell us a little about that ride, because that was a whole ride for you guys. That took you away from, took you away from Full Force.
Yeah.
And you were rocking with, because she was a phenomenal talent.
Absolutely.
You know, until this day, you know, her following is ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So talk to us a little about Lisa. She's one of my favorites, by the way.
Well, wonderful.
You know what I mean? No
wonderful,
question.
Yeah, she's still doing her thing too.
And no
man.
question. And talk to us a little about that, because that was that was a big movement with Lisa and the Culture.
Yeah. All right, so just to touch base on the first indoctrinate to our Full Force family, when my brother B-Fine came up with the idea about a girl that was dissing everybody, he came up, and his favorite group was the Police. He came with the name Roxanne.
Facts.
And we got our dancers to do that. It was a phenomenon, went crazy.
That's
I think
right.
we're still in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most answer records, you know.
Yep.
And then B said, you know something? I know there's a void in the industry. I just noticed there's no Spanish, no Puerto Rican girls. There's nothing.
Right.
So Mike Hughes, who worked with Full Force, he was assigned to go find the girl. We all were searching, and he would party at this club called the Funhouse. And he found this young lady named Lisa, brought her to our Brooklyn basement in East Flatbush. We all checked her out, had her sing a few things. Of course, she was nervous, you know,
Of
'cause,
course.
you know, she was around us. But we had to sing a few things, and we all decided, we said, you know what? This is our star. And at the time, I think B came up with the idea to name her Lisa. And Mike and Al was part of Cult Jam. And that's how we came with the group. And then we was always writers, you know, because once again, Steve Salem, who's our late manager who passed away, his idea was, you know, guys, you guys are putting too much on yourself, because we always tried to be different. We dressed like rockers. We had a pop sensibility.
Yeah, we see.
We had an R&B mindset, but we had a hip hop attitude. You know what I mean? So it wasn't ready for us. So when we're producing somebody, we wouldn't put as much pressure on it. So came with Lisa and Cult Jam. We always writing, and B came up with this song that opened up the doors. You know, I wonder if I take you home, would you still be in love, baby? And that's, I'm going back in '85, but they never heard nothing like that. We released it in England on a compilation album. It was number 8 song, and it blew up in England on an independent label. And then it got...
It's typical of what happened in a lot of songs back then. They would blow up overseas.
Overseas,
first.
Yeah, man. We did it with Backstreet, we did it with NSYNC. And so back to Lisa. So now Columbia took a chance, so let's drop it over here. Well, it blew up over here. We got a phone call, so you guys got 2 weeks to do an album. And we was already writing anyway, because we kind of knew something would happen. So B came up with this other song, Can You Feel the Beat Within My Heart? Can you see my love? Yeah, that went through the roof.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
That was it right there, man.
Yeah.
That was the song right
and
there.
B and Jerry, and we was all starting new things. Like at that time, nobody was doing a kick drum and the bass locked with the kick drums. Like do that, do that, do that, do that. So B said dun dun dun. Nobody was doing that. And then Jerry was doing lines. Man, that went through the roof. I wrote this ballad to this day, it lives forever, called All Cried Out. You know,
So let me ask you a question in regards to the music you guys produced for Lisa. Do you think you guys ushered in freestyle yourselves?
No, I don't.
Are you claiming that?
Oh, I'm claiming.
Yeah,
that.
of course, because you should. Because people think that that's the deal. Like you guys ushered in freestyle. Okay,
we absolutely did. And just like when we did Roxanne, it gave birth to a lot of female rappers. Because then you had the real Roxanne Shantae, Sparky D.
Right.
You know, when we did that, it opened up the doors for groups like Expose and the Cover Girls, and they all opened up for Lisa. You know,
Right.
And once again, even back then, we was always about building the brand. That's why you see us in all the videos. That's why that first album, you see Lisa and Cult Jam with Full Force, who's all about building the brand. And with me, mainly me, but all of us, it wasn't just about the music, it was about the music business. You know, that's why it was always important to have several revenue streams. So we had revenue streams as artists, as managers, because we manage all our acts, as writers, producers, actors, you understand? So it was always a business mindset even from then, you know?
How did you guys get into that mindset, by the way? Because that's not something that I'm assuming you fell into. So was it your parents that instilled that portion?
Yeah, definitely. My dad, my uncle, and just being of the mindset, like what got me rocking was just not the music, it was music business. You know, that was always my thing, you know? So collectively, we all, and that's when with Baby Jerry, Kurt Shy, we all galvanized together. That's why you'll never see written by Paul Anthony or written by Jerry. So it's written by Full Force, because we always shared everything, you know? So, I mean, that album went through the roof. It went platinum so fast. And then now we had to come back with the next album. So they didn't know what we were going to do. So we said, let's lean Lisa a little pop a little bit. Let's really just get that pop money. So I wrote this song called Ooh, Baby, I Think I Love You from head to toe. went through the roof, went #1. Then B wrote Lost in Emotion, went through the roof. Now we can do no harm.
Right,
you know,
right.
It was off
You
to
were
the
killing
races.
it at that point. At that point, you were on fire.
Yeah, and then we dropped our own album, you know, because we were the first R&B hip hop band. My brothers, the Force MDs, was our first R&B hip hop group. You know, so we dropped our own album. Then we came back with Show Pepsi Riley, Thanks for My Child, and it was no stopping. It was no stopping.
So during this time, you guys had so much material, man. You guys were on fire.
Yeah, man, we just kept on creating, kept on creating. I think somewhere in between that. So when we first started, our manager, Steve Salem, shared a small office the size of this room with Russell Simmons.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's how we started.
I remember that.
Right.
Yeah.
So we was all family. That's why our first success wasn't Roxanne. Our first success, to which I love every NBA season, we co-wrote "They're Playing Basketball."
Curtis Blow.
They
Right.
playing basketball.
Yeah, we
No
co-wrote
question.
that for Curtis. He was the first guy to take us on tour with Curtis and Rick James, and I mean it was the first time. So we co-wrote that. So we was all one family, you know. Run opened up a few shows for us. Run DMC. So it was natural to do the movie because my dad always instilled in us that a singer is an actor. So when I teach singers and I talk to people, I said, you don't sing the song, you become the song.
Yeah, so talk to us a little bit about that. You guys obviously just completely smashed the music business side of this whole thing.
Yeah.
And then you reached new heights by doing films, such as Crush Groove, such as, you know, the movie that I'm totally fond of, my movie, Who's the Man with Ella and Dr.
No
Dre.
doubt.
You know what I mean?
House
So,
Party.
you know, House Party 1 and 2.
Sure.
You guys did your thing, you know what I mean? So talk
Yeah,
to us a little bit about your transformation. And then it was you three.
Right.
And you guys just actually just took these 3 characters to different films, you know. So talk to me about that too. That's exciting. You know?
Well, I think the first thing was Crush Groove when Russell asked us. Remember, we was all part of the family.
Right.
So once again, we always had a mean persona. People that meet us love us, but we had a mean persona. It was very easy because in East Flatbush, you know, it's like, you know, Bed-Stuy. You know, I was always, you know, I had a nice crew of people that look out for me. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we know
Right.
what kind of crew that is. It's all
Right.
good. We all
The
got that
nice
kind of crew.
kind.
Yeah, the nice guys.
It was easy. But yeah, I mean, so when we was asked to do that, I remember a quick little story in the script that said goons. Right? So we didn't like that shit. We didn't like goons. You know what I mean? We didn't like that. You know, just didn't like it. So at the time, Russell and Michael Schultz kept it there. So for whatever reason, we just boycotted the set.
What?
Yeah, we
boycotted the
We
set?
boycotted the set. I forgot what else was involved. We left for 3 days.
Because you called you goons?
Goons, and there was something else I don't remember. I don't remember fully, but something else.
Oh, okay.
We left the set angry, you know. And then Russell, yo, guys, please come back, you know. And Ron was like, yo, Paul, da. So make a long story short, we came back 3 days later, right? But we still had a little attitude.
Acting like goons.
Yeah, so nah, don't let the movie fool you. No, so I remember my little brother Blair Underwood. He came and he said, "Yo, Paul, man, I know y'all kind of upset what's going on, man, but this elevator scene is a very important scene, man. So if you can get in the role, man, you know, I said, Blair, let me tell you something. I'm not having a good day. I'm still bothered. So trust me, I'm gonna fuck you up." I was not solid. I said,
You just straight told him that.
Yeah, so we had to get him in the elevator. I just, you know, gave him, you know, he had a couple of us, it was good, but, you know, had to just go ahead and take it out on him. It's all love, though, because we're a family now. But, yeah, it was easy to be getting that part. Make a long story short, Lou was upset because Lou was always the actor in the family. Lou used to give plays when we were little, and you know, so the fact that me and B got in the movie before him, boy, Lou was feeling it. Yeah, he wasn't feeling
no question.
that.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the actor.
Right. So when Who's the Man came, you know, that was great because Lou had a full range of motion to sing and act and create all those kind of things, you know. So
yeah, Lou, it's salute to Lou too, man. He did a great job. And Who's the Man, bro?
Didn't he do his thing?
He did his thing, bro. Yep, no question.
Yeah, man. So let's see. So we went back to music. So between touring and producing and our acts and I mean we were just busy, you know. It was hot, you know. We had to back then, you know, send half the money and get in line. We're going oh, and remind me to get back to my story about that mentality. Remind me to tell you about our Patti LaBelle story.
Oh yeah, please.
Okay.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a minute. But
Yeah, we're just busy.
So at some point you reached your apex and you guys were on Columbia, right?
Right.
You know, 'cause I remember because I used to, you know, me and Dre used to
Right.
get the music all the time. So so tell me when, you know, things started going downhill, because at some point in time nobody keeps the deal, you know.
Right.
Yeah, so how
What
transpired?
I like to tell people, most artists and writers have their own cycle.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
goes up and down. You have a few that, you know, Drake, you know, just hot forever.
That's
but
right.
most have their own cycle. And there was a time, you know, and this is before Crush Group, this was before House Party, but there was a time where now the executives weren't taking our call because we were in hot, you know? So we was like, okay, you know what? We get it. Sometimes with black folks is what have you done for me lately? And with white folks is once a hit, twice a threat. What you got? So we said, okay, we'll be back. We're gonna mess with these white folks. We'll mess with these white acts. We'll be back. We know how people get funny.
Right.
You know.
Right, exactly.
It's cool. We'll be back over here in a minute. And we got a call from our publishers. Hey guys, you know, we want y'all to focus on this new group. They're unknown. No one knows them, but they're a little group that we're going to bring. They're big in London.
I know who you're talking
they're
about.
They're a little group named Backstreet Boys. We want you to focus on everything you can with them. We was like, okay, cool. You know, so we started focusing on that. Baby Jerry spearheaded a monster hit. It goes, but my love is all I have to give. Man, when that came out, but before it came out, we vibed with Lou Pearlman and Johnny Wright, and so after that led to us doing In Sync. And while we was doing In Sync, Clive Calder, who owned Jive, he said, "Hey, Paul, you know, we've got this little girl. We think she's a star. We don't know. We want you to bring out the essence of what she can do." You know, and I learned a lot from Clive Calder. True businessman. You won't even know what he looks like. But the man, this is business. And yeah, her name is Brittany. We want to spend some time with her. And Brittany spent about 2.5 weeks with us in our Brooklyn basement, bringing out that flavor, that suaveness.
Britney Spears was in the Brooklyn basement.
Oh,
facts.
And East Flatbush.
That's gangster.
Yeah.
Brittany, salute to Brittany. Two fingers to Brittany right
they
here.
drive
Peace
her
out.
every day. And it's so funny
That's
because
what I'm talking about.
Because later on, I think she told LL, she jokes about it, say, you know what? You know, it's full force the reason why I got this black girl's ass. You know why? Because when I would be with them, they would take me to the spot. They would take me to the West Indian spot, get stew chicken and rice every day.
Wow.
And she's right. Every day we
Stew
walked
chicken.
in. Yep. So Brittany was in.
Respect every time.
Yeah, but as hot as we were, we made everybody come to Brooklyn Basement. I mean, Fergie, everybody came to Brooklyn Basement. But staying with the story, it was a wonderful time, man. And you know, the things that was happening, and then before you know it, I mean, do you want me to go into the house party story?
Yes, let's talk. Let's talk.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
that was real good. So
How did you even become
Yeah.
a part of that movie?
Yeah,
Let
so-
alone your song being on the soundtrack.
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
really
yeah.
talk about that. You got a whole dance segment, a part of the movie just
Yeah,
from that
man.
song.
And it's blessed because, you know, my goal, even when we first made it, my goal has always been to live forever. And we live forever through what we leave and what we manifest when we leave. So
Right.
this just continued on. But I was home writing, and I got a phone call from a dear friend who was also one of our co-producers, the late, great Robert Ford Jr. And he said, Paul, I got a friend of mine that I wanted him to give you a call. I said, what? What is it about? He said, well, this guy named Reggie, you know, he's a Harvard student, and he has this script. And in the script, it said that the bullies were muscle-bound, Jerry curl-wearing guys like Full Force. That was in the script.
Wow.
So he said, well, why do life? Why don't you just get Full Force? And Reggie's like, yeah, haha. So I said, no, those are my guys. He said, really? He said, I said, well, listen, man, because we're always open-minded. I said, tell him to give me a call. Well, let's see. So I got a call from this guy named Reggie Hudlin. He sounded very confident, not nervous, but I said, hey, my name is Reggie, got a script and everything like that. And I said, yes. Well, Reggie, listen, man, send it over, man. You know, you never know, send it over. So I read maybe 30 pages, and already I'm like, oh, this is fire, because I see our scene comes in within the first 10 minutes. So I sent it to Lou, because that's Lou's thing. You know, I sent it to Lou. Lou read the script. So he got me and B on the phone and said, hey, guys, I think this could be fine. We're going to change up a couple of things. We end up changing everything. But I'll get back to that.
Wow. Okay.
He said, we're going to change things. He said, B, well, Paul, you've always been the main guy, bodybuilder, so your stab. He said, B, they have B as Pee-wee. They have me as Zilla. B, I'm going to switch places with you since you work out. I'm going to be Pee-wee. I'm going to talk like this throughout the whole movie on set. And I'm talking about even when the director said, cut, Lou stayed in character throughout the whole.
He's a true actor. He's a true actor. That's right.
Pee-wee. And we're gonna rock it like this. So we saw the lines. We'd meet with the Huntland brothers the night before every shooting, and we changed everything. Every line you hear, we wrote it and changed it. And every time we did something, the Huntland brothers would be like, keep it. Keep it.
Cool.
So, little things like, I smell. Yeah, we've said that for years. We put that in there, And Lou, his idea was, he loved how Joe Pesci and Lethal Weapon 2 would always say, okay. So Lou said, I'm going to think of something that'll stick with people. And he said, I'm going to kick your fucking ass. So the Huntland brothers heard it. They said, keep it.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
The
brother.
next before we were supposed to shoot another scene where he chased kid down the alley and put him in the refrigerator. And I made
one
up,
shoe.
Yeah, and
Right,
I
one
made it.
shoe,
So
yeah.
I made up this thing that day. You run around town like a sucker in heat. Me and my boys can't be beat. No matter where you go, we can smell like gas, and we're gonna kick your freaking ass. You got your silly ass locked in the ice box with nowhere to go. Man, that set off. Oh, I got a story behind that one too.
Okay.
So we said, keep it. Next thing you know, Kid and Play started changing airlines, and Monster changing airlines, and we was one great big family. We knew we had a hit, but we had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
It would be testimony. It would be the impetus of so many urban, modest budget films around the world.
Yeah, man.
Man, so
House Party definitely is part of the urban legend films,
I just want to ask you a personal question. Sure. And, I hope the audience members don't get mad at me. But how do you feel about so many remakes of House Parties? My personal opinion, leave it where it's at. Y'all messing this classic up.
No doubt.
no offense. After like the third one, let it go. Because you done changed the monologue, all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of things,
The bullies ain't this. I'm sorry, the goons ain't right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
AKA goons, right.
One loves LeBron, his family, it's all good. But yeah, certain things you just leave alone,
Right.
And I kind of knew that. Of course, to match that, it'd have been better if you not try to match it or name it, do something similar and make correlations. But to do that, that's a tough hill to climb.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that, you know what I mean? So once again, you leave it alone, and I think they'll leave that alone and try to do something else.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
But, listen. I want to bring up something just now.
Yes, sir.
I was just thinking, and I want to first say I salute you. Okay, because you went through, many people might not know this, but you went through a struggle with leukemia.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And then cancer's running rampant through our community. Crazy.
He's a cancer
crazy.
champion.
And it's not like not to downplay any type of cancer, but you kind of like had the Rolls Royce of cancer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and your brothers, Lou in particular, came in and helped you, man. Talk to us a little about your experience, man. In regards to that,
so it was back in 2006, and I was in the gym training. And it's so crazy. I was squatting like 465, like 10, 15 reps. And then after I did, I looked at my neck. I saw this lump in my neck. Or my training partner, Colin Bergan, and I was like, "Wow, what is that?" He said, "Yo, Paul, check that out. Don't wait." And when I did check it out, because I'm one of those few that I don't wait right away.
Right.
And that's the problem with particularly our black men. We don't check things out,
Right.
And
You're scared to go to the doctor.
yeah,
and all that,
and I want to help change that. But anyway, I went and checked it out, and they did an FNA, which is a fine needle aspiration, took some fluid out, and they said it seemed to be consistent with mantle cell lymphoma. And I didn't know what that was. So then they went and did a biopsy, and it says mantle cell lymphoma. It was in the third going to the fourth stage, and it's a rare, deadly cancer. So when you look it up, at the time when I looked it up, the first two words I saw was incurable and fatal. It's the first two words, and I remember I said, "Wow." And then after that, 30 seconds after that, the only thing that came to my mind was, I'm not changing shit. And I meant my constitution, who I am, and what I am doing. So I immediately started going to work on myself right then and there. I started, because, placebo is medicine. What the mind can manifest, the body will follow, fueled by the spirit. And I've always followed that, even when I work out in the gym, you know? So I'm like, wow, it was third going to the fourth stage. It was crazy. Me and my brothers, we literally went on tour. By that, I mean, we went to New York Presbyterian, we went to Mount Sinai, we went to Hackensack, went to so many hospitals, and now it was in the fourth stage. And we got to Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. A few of our friends was there, Charlie Fellman from BMI, Sharon Colchimera, our attorney at the time, and the doctor came out, and he said, how you doing? I'm Dr. Hamlin, Dr. Paul Anthony Hamlin.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And we looked around each other in the room, and I just smiled, and I said, thank you. And he didn't know what we was talking about. I said, because my name is Paul Anthony. I said, all my life, I bet on Paul Anthony. And this is the first time I met a Paul Anthony. I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to bet on Paul Anthony.
Of course.
And that was the confirmation made me choose
all your
him.
life, you never met a Paul Anthony before, and when you need him the most, this is Paul Anthony.
Right. And, you know, quite often he sends messages. We're just not paying attention.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was it, you know, rounds of chemotherapy. But before I went to chemotherapy, I went to a spiritual advisor first. You know, I want to take you that first. And she said, you know what, you have a strong mindset. You're going to be fine, but you're going to go through some things. We have to put you through some things. It's going to be a long journey. I said, okay, cool, because I'm built for that. You know, that was always my mindset. Let's dance. I'm built for this, you know. So, and the crazy thing about it is, if this would have happened to Lou or B, I'd have been a basket case. Because I've always been the tip of the sword. I've always been a frontline dude. I've always been that guy, you know. So I'm not used to being helpless, you know. No. But if it's me, it made sense to me.
Right.
It made sense. Like, yeah, of course me. Let's go. Right. You know, so throughout the whole thing, man, just moving fast ahead. That was the first of 3 cancers. But 4 years later, the other 2 would come, being MDS, myelodysplastic syndrome, and acute myeloid leukemia. But before they came, that blessed Queen Kathy Hughes, she said, let's do it on an unsung. Right. So I got the okay to bring the cameras in Sloan Kettering, and it came on. And when it came on, you know, along with people not knowing some of the people that we worked with, like Bob Dylan and James Brown and Patti LaBelle, when I lit that there, it shocked everybody. Right. I started getting phone calls saying, yo, Paul, man, you going viral. I'm like, cool. What's viral? What's viral? I mean, I didn't know, you know. Right. This is so, you know, and Shaq was talking to Riri, and everybody was, yo, Paul, you didn't, yo, you know, there's a lot of love, man, a lot of love. And that's it, that energy, that frequency was just reinforcing what I had, you know what I mean? Right. So,
full force.
Yeah, no. So it became the most watched in TV One history.
Because listen, you have good energy, bro. And this is coming out right now as I speak. I'm sitting here. I'm not gonna say I'm like stunned, but I'm just like absorbing this whole energy. And God bless and God bless your life, man. Because the cancer energy is bad. It's just a terrible energy. And as you got through it, I salute you. That's real talk, man.
You real quick, man. Yeah. Let me condense to get the story so we can go to other things. No question. So Dr. Hamlin, Paul Anthony Hamlin, in his infinite wisdom, he said, let me test my 2 brothers. And as it turns out, we thought B would be the match because he works out. No, Lou was a 10 for 10, highest.
Oh, wow.
So we knew we had that. We put that away, and then I had to go through lots of chemo.
For the stem cells, right?
Yeah, exactly, you know. So he's like 2 years in, I said, Doc, look, I'm training. I changed my eating. I changed my thinking. I changed some of the people I hung around because toxicity come from anywhere. Right. I said, anything else I could do to help my cause? He said, yeah, be good to your brother, Lou.
Exactly. You know
what I'm saying?
That's right.
So yeah. So once again, when it came back 4 years later, it came back, of course, much more ferocious and wrong. And for the first time, he said, Paul, right now you're fighting for your life. As you sit right here, you're fighting for your life. He said that to me because now the leukemia just was racing. And I remember I said to him, you know, and me and Lou wonder about this because I said to him, I said, Doc, I said, I know you said I'm fighting for my life right now, but I said, I don't think you're looking closely enough. I said, if you look harder, you see my crown of glory. I'm special. I'm different. I said, so hurry up and do what you're going to do. So him and I can do what we're going to do. Because he has things for me to do.
Crown of glory is it right there, brother.
And I just broke it down. Yeah, and I just said, because sometimes you have to be put on the precipice of life to see what you're made of. And that was my mindset, you know what I mean? So, make a long story short, there's a lot of things in between, but I galvanized between my family, my friends. There was so much love. My wife Michelle, though we're separated right now, we're still each other's support system. She was there through every transfusion. My Lou was there through everything, so that helped strengthen who I was anyway. You know
That's
what I
right,
mean,
brother.
Yeah, man.
That's
so
what I'm talking about.
yeah, man. So now music is the gift, but the purpose is to touch, change, and save lives. So long as I keep feeding purpose, He's gonna keep me. You know?
No question.
And you created a foundation, correct?
Yeah. So the Paul Anthony Cancer Champion Foundation, because I tell people the cancer survivor walks the earth, but the cancer champion conquers the world. And my thing is to inspire men, particularly our black men, because we are the endangered species, to be proactive with your health, proactive with your life. One of the phrases I use is proactivation times integration equals eradication. The more proactive we are, and the more we know that it's not this or that, is this and that,
Right.
then we can be more armed and weaponized to deal with that challenge, whatever it may be, you know. But it's about saying health, training, nutrition, eating the right things, how we eat, you know, and get yourself checked out, you know. And I never shitted on Big Pharma because there's a place for everything. So there's nutraceuticals, there's alternative treatments, but there's other man-made treatments that you can use, you know.
Right,
so
right.
that's what the foundation does.
Yeah, but listen, so I know this is not it for you because you have more things going on. So talk to us more about what's going on in the future. Yeah, I know you're working on new material, and
I believe he has a single out called "The Rest of My Life" and Ready to Love. Wait, ready to learn your love.
Yeah, man, those, you know, it's like, you know, I'm working on some full force stuff too, but at some point in time, you want to individualize to capitalize. And I just felt, okay, you know, it's time to do some solo stuff as well as full force stuff. So those singles they're hot, but man, when I tell you the next one's coming, it's a remake. Ooh, ladies, ladies, I'm telling you, you gonna love me.
okay,
This one here,
there you go.
awesome, you know.
There you go.
So the singles are wonderful. They're doing well. We're doing a lot of full force shows, of course. I was given an honorary doctorate in philosophy and humanitarianism.
Oh, okay.
So,
that's nice.
yeah. So,
as we have it, it up here.
Oh, okay.
There you go, brother.
Okay, P, what's going on, baby?
Hey,
Yeah, so I'll be working on my book also, and it'll be as Dr. Paul Anthony. The book is going to be interesting because I've had a lot of private moments. Like, for instance, I've spent some special quality time with Dr. Sebi, and he shares some very private things with me. Godfather of Soul, James Brown, he shares some things with me, and there'll be a lot of private things, private times with cancer, private times when we're back on the road, back on tour, because back in the day, I was a problem. Oh yeah, it was a problem because nobody was doing what we was doing. I was stripping down to my bikini briefs and posing and flexing, and nobody was doing stuff like that. You know,
for it.
So
that's a part of the Miss Patti LaBelle story. Because I'm here for it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Let's talk about the Patti LaBelle story. Right, you were gonna mention this. You're gonna mention
real
it
quick.
Patty.
So you know, back then we was hot. Once again, get in line, half the check, we'll get to you. So we was so hot, right? So we got a phone call, I think from Irving Azoff at the time. He had MCA, and he said, hey, guys, I want you to do Patty. So we were so busy and so backed up that we said, listen, we're big fans of Patty. We love her, but we don't have time. We don't have time in our schedule. So unfortunately, please tell her thank you, but we didn't have time to do Patty. You know, so we was honest, right? That was on a Monday. So we did. So we were working at Sigma Sound Studios in New York. The original Sigma Sound is in Philadelphia. So I'm downstairs going to get something to eat, and a white super stretched limousine pulls up in front of us. Out comes Patti LaBelle.
With them pies.
Before the pies. And her A&R person at the time was Timmy Regisford.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know about Tim. Yeah.
So Timmy comes out. I'm looking at Pat. I'm like, oh, damn, because we just told her no yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So Timmy comes to me and he said, hey, Paul, how you doing? I said, hey, Tim, how's it going? He said, yeah. And he says, Miss Patty, this is one of the guys at Full Force. I swear. Patty's like, oh. How are you? I'm like, I'm fine. She says, oh, you going up? She said, yeah. I said, oh, I'm going up too. I said, okay. So now we're in the elevator together. I'm here. Patty's here. Timmy's over here. So I'm, like, I turn and kind of look like this. And she like, so now we get in there. I tell yo guys, Patti LaBelle's here. Now everybody's like, So now we go in the lounge and Patty's there. She said, full force, first of all. So all six of us, I'm very proud of you guys. You're doing well for yourself. I'm happy. But I want you guys to give me 20 minutes to stop what you're doing because I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, you're going to work with Miss Patty. I'm talking about 6 Scooby-Doos. We look at each other like it was crazy, man.
Wow.
She just checked us. Man, one of the greatest moments of my life, man. We ended up doing a couple of songs with Patty. It was great. We bonded well together. She gave me one of the biggest compliments of my life, too, because we was working on a part, and she couldn't think of a part for this particular song we was doing. He said, Paul, you got any ideas? I said, let me hear, Patty. I said, here's what we're going to do. I said, we're going to do 2 tracks that overlap, Patty. On the first track, I want you to give me, well, maybe, baby, that's why we're not together now. And the other track, we're going to do, I don't know why we're not together, but I'll show you. I said, in the original track, I want you to give me that 7-year-old Patty, give me that, but I'm gonna make you happy. She said, whoa, Paul, you take Miss Patty to school. I'm like, wow. You know, so it's moments like that that I remember, special moments like that will always also be.
So her name is Patty LaGangster, not Patty LaBelle.
Yeah, she wasn't playing. She checked us quick, man.
No, quick. Yo, listen, man, listen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely, man.
Before we leave,
before your fans, because some of
Yes.
your fans has to know.
Uh-oh.
Which goon did you prefer playing best, from House Party or Crush Group?
Oh, that's easy.
Which-
I can't go anywhere without somebody tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, Stab. Hey, Stab. You're Stab, right? Stab? Yeah, so, I mean, House Party was definitely the one because people still know me for that. I mean, ain't my type of hype, baby.
Yeah.
Me and you is crazy.
Glue.
I mean, that one still lives on to this day. So, I mean, that will always be it. You know?
question.
And let me give y'all some love, man, because from the time I first met you, your effervescent energy came through immediately. You know, and I love that. And you, brother, I mean, I'm getting the new and improved refined tea.
Yes.
Because back in the day,
You gotta whip them in shape, man.
back in the day, T's like, oh yeah, Twinkies, bring them this way. But now you're looking good, you're looking healthy, man. I'm so glad to see that, man.
respect that, brother.
I love that, man. You know, you've always had that smile, but now, you know, you feel it. So
you
that's
got
good,
my body
man.
in shape. That's what you gotta do.
But you got to show them, man.
No
we
question.
got to show them without even saying anything. You know?
Well, I'm not stripping down in my bikini briefs.
We not doing that.
we
We're
don't
not
have
doing
to do
that.
that.
But
Next
I
time.
definitely love you. I was such a pleasure to meet you for years.
Absolutely.
I've been scared of you, but we broke that stigma once I actually met Lou. You guys are great. You're phenomenal. I wish you
thank you.
much success. And also to shout out to Miss Egypt Young. She's amazing.
Yeah,
with
and so
a lot
let me
of
give
things
my
that you
girl
guys going
Egypt.
on.
She's been with there throughout so many things. I gotta get a call too. We're gonna do some special things, and let me shout out a few other people because you know Lou's doing some special things. I'm being honored in October by the Queen of Hearts by Ethel Buckhalter. They're honoring me again, so I'm gonna be doing some special things. My new single, my partner Sonny Neal, who brought me that night for us to meet. You know, we're doing things through our Lionhearted Global Company. So there's a lot more things on the horizon. Full Force documentaries coming. Oh, forget about it, man. So I'm just overjoyed, and I'm happy to be a part of what's coming down the line.
I'm glad you came here today, man.
Yes,
Thanks
sir,
a lot,
man.
brother.
Thank you. And rest in peace to Kango Kid,
Appreciate
because I
it.
know
No doubt.
you
Shall we
guys
toast?
were
Shall
also
we
together.
toast?
Salute,
Let's
man.
salute to life.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And
All
let the
y'all
people know
too?
where they can find you, sir.
Oh, yeah. Well, at The Legend Paul Anthony on IG, Facebook, Twitter, at The Legend Paul Anthony. Just find me. If you find me, if you know it, I'm going to find you.
That's right.
Let's do it.
Yo, you're watching the T-Money podcast joint. Paul Anthony, Ciara Ross.
love.
I am not eating fucking Twinkies. Just want to let you know that. Peace, 2 fingers.
Before my time.
T-Money podcast joint with Ciara.